Fred here, welcome back to Your Obsession channel. In this episode, I will be finally getting around to reviewing my Zamplebox that came this month, so stay tuned. I tell you, this box has been sitting around for a couple of weeks. I was getting over bronchitis and the flu and all kinds of nasty stuff, so I just didn't vape during that time. And to answer somebody's question, or statement on one of my other vaping videos, someone had made a comment that said you wouldn't be so sick if you didn't vape. you wouldn't have bronchitis and a cold if you didn't vape. Well, you know something? You're absolutely right. I would not have gotten the flu or that cold if I were not vaping. And I'll tell you why. Because when I went to Vape Fest, you know, the DC Vape Fest, that's where I got the flu. And if I weren't vaping, I would have went to that Vape Fest. It was not because of vaping. It was because I was around all them people with all those pathogens, which made me sick. Anyway, let's see what we get. Doesn't come in the green box like my other ones did. Just came in a regular box. That's a little different, a little change from my other Zampleboxes. But, you know, you get your normal card. And what I like about this, again, I'll be placing my three favorites out of this. We'll sample them. Got a card from LOOK. We got a card from Puff-U. And the thing about these cards is they get you discounts off. You know, they have codes and stuff, so you can get discounts. We have a coupon code here for Thunder Vape Vapor and 503 e-liquid. So you're not just getting, you know, samples or samples, but you're also getting coupon codes, which is adding to the cost effectiveness of this whole subscription-based e-liquid thing. We also get a card from Zamplebox and with an invitation code and good stuff. Anyway, bag, so let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got. Before we open this up, I do want to just show you, this is my itaste VTR. I'm not going to do an official review on it. It's I'll show you a quick look. I got this in this green color, really cool. I don't like the ones that are really shiny. They get all your fingerprints. Power button. I'm gonna have to turn that on. Does that normal itaste thing. Anyway, variable wattage, variable voltage. Has this funky thing. I'm going to be using this atomizer. And of course, it doesn't make any sense to put it down here, you know, because there's usually you put the tank in here, like this, you know, that screws in there, and you screw that in. But if you don't want to use that, and you want to use something that's not really made to fit it quite good, here's the case. It came with this little extension tubey thing, and it also came with this really nice case. I like it. You can just put this in here, and then you can put what you want right on top. I had gotten this for around, I don't know, 70 bucks. You can find these things for anywhere between $70 and $200. So make sure you do your homework and find the best deal out there. So this will be my setup that I'll use to taste on my RDA using this, since I've never showed it off. By the way, it uses an 18650 battery. Got that in here. It's a Samsung blah 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 18650. I don't remember if it's a 2000 or 3000 or whatever. It doesn't really, it's not important to this video. But again, you push the button right here to fire it. I don't hear it firing. Let's make sure I got everything in there tight. Oh, I must have turned off while I was playing with it. Okay. Let me see. What am I going to put for wattage? What you do is you press this button, and I don't want to do voltage. I want to do Power. Okay, 8. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to set this to. 8 watts. And you could hear it. So we're all good. Anyway, moving on. By the way, I highly recommend it. The only con I have to this is it weighs a ton. So it feels like you have a roll of quarters in your hand. So if anybody's bugging you while you're vaping with this thing, just hold it in your hand and you can punch them like you had a roll of quarters in your hand and probably knock them out. So it weighs a lot. It's you know, I've also gotten the MVP, and I end up using the MVP a lot more because this thing is just too heavy for the pockets that I like wear to work. They're like kind of flimsy shirt pockets, and this thing just weighs them down too much. So I end up using the MVP. Bubble wrap. Now, if you do get bored while you're vaping, you just have nothing better to do, you could use the time-honored tradition of popping. I love it. Zamplebox, please never stop sending us bubble wrap. Let's see. On the other hand, don't tie these things up too tight because I could never figure them out. Okay, let's see what we got here. I have Puff U Premium Frosted Blueberry. By the way, these are 0 nicotine. That's what I vape. If I could put this down like this, it would be pretty cool. There we go. What else do we have? I have 503 Mixed Berry, which I don't have that particular flavor from them. We have Click Pina Colada. I'm sorry, not Click, but Lick Pina Colada. I don't have that flavor. Cool. Have A-Train Blue something. Can you read that? Because I cannot read that. Blue PR. I can't read it. Blue something. Blueprint. Blueprint. That's what it looks like. Blueprint. It's very hard to see that. At least for old people, it's very hard to see. So, A-Train, make your stuff legible for old people. What do we have here? We have Artesian E-Liquid. This is Thunderhead. Ooh, strawberry frosting. That sounds really, really good. And last but not least, we have Nickwood Apple Breeze. Now I do have a little issue because, you know what, I don't know if I had gotten this, but I had gotten one before, but it might have been from a different, a different subscription. I want to say it wasn't, but I'm not sure. So I hope those folks at Zamplebox keeps track of what they're sending you so they don't send you the same flavor 2 months in a row. I can't confirm. I don't know for sure because I get so much stuff from so many different sources. It's hard to keep track, so I don't want to accuse Zamplebox of doing that. I'm just saying I hope they do have some sort of mechanism in their software that keeps track of that. I'm pretty sure they do. So anyway, I like this bottle. It has a dropper, Lick. Let's get a dropper on that. A-Train, let's get a dropper on that. Now I gotta go find a pipette or something to, luckily I got one here. If you don't have one of these handy, because of companies like these, but, you know, A-Train does make some really good tasting stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and vape these different flavors and see which one I rate the highest. A-Train Blueprint. I actually had already gotten this one. You can see it's empty because I had offloaded them to a bottle with a dropper, since it didn't come with a dropper. So again, I'm not sure which ones I got it from, which subscription service. I'll go ahead and throw this into my RDA. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it'll be enough. Drop my my suck tube yeah, my sup tube. Maybe I'll call it that for now on. And let's vape it. Still good. So A-Train gets a little bit of advantage here over everybody else because the stuff that I'm vaping has had about a month or two to seep. If you don't know what steep or whatever it is, when it sits around, it sort of tastes a little bit better because the flavors and the stuff that's in the e-liquid sort of have time to develop like a fine wine. So for whatever it's worth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and vape this one up and get the atomizer ready for the next flavor. Real quick before we move on to the next one, good vapor production, great flavor. I just got to keep that in my head as far as how good it tasted to me. Again, taste is subjective. So this rating is mine and mine alone. But I can tell you on the bottle, first of all, label's hard to read, no dropper, no ingredients listing, no PG/VG percentage rating, no, there is a warning, but if you can read it, good luck. So there's a lot of things that they can do to improve this packaging, but I do appreciate the amount they give you. Alright, so the next one, this strawberry frosting really looks good. Again, the labeling is pretty light. I see 0 nicotine clearly on there. I see a warning, and I don't see PG/VG percentage on here. I don't see ingredients listing on here, but they do give you a child-proof type of dropper, which I do like. So let's go ahead and get this in. It's also Fred-proof. Oh, this thing is really child-proof, let me tell you. Woo! That was hard to get off. That was Fred-proof. That was Gear Obsession-proof. Alright. Put 4 drops in there. Close this up. Always good to close these things up right away because there have been several times where I would whip my hand across and spill it, and you know I could have, you know, if you calculate how much that little bit costs, it's probably like printer ink and like probably like $1,000 for an ounce or some. Well, not $1,000 per ounce. I guess it isn't quite as bad as printer ink. Anyway, vaping this. Yeah, it's strawberry. Good vapor production, great flavor. I can tell you right now, I like this more than A-Train. It could be because I've never had anything that was strawberry yet, and I really like that flavor. Now, it's not a natural strawberry flavor taste. It's more like a, well, it's soft because I guess they add some sort of, since it's frosting, it has some little bit of creamier type notes. It's not like straight strawberry. I'm not an expert at this. It sort of has that flavor similar to the way, let's see, I don't know how familiar you are with the rocket fuels, but it sort of has that similar kind of flavor that you find in that e-juice. Okay, so let me, wow, vapor production is also, I think, better than A-Train too. So let me go ahead and get the atomizer, the RDA, ready for the next flavor. Next one is Puff You, and this is a blueberry donut, frosted blueberry donut, and Yep, childproof cap, dropper built in. Ah, born on date. I like it. So you know, if this thing is like over a year old, you might not want to puff on it anymore. And 0 milligrams, 10 milligrams in here. It does have the PG VG mix. It's 60 PG, 40 VG. Has a little Made in America thing. We don't have ingredients listing here, and there is a warning label on here. So pretty good packaging for Puff U. Puff U. Okay, I'm going to try not to drop my suck tube here. Technically, it's a drip tip. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. Close the bottle. Suck tube inserted. And let's try it out. By the way, you know, this button, it always, see how that turns green? That lets you know your battery's good. It turns yellow when you're halfway, red when it's running out. Also in the VTR, you can see there's holes, so if your battery needs to vent, it can, so it doesn't blow up your hand and the device, which ain't cheap. Vapor production's not quite as good as the other two. And the flavor is not as strong as the other two. To be honest, I could barely taste blueberry in this. A little bit. A little bit. So far this is my least favorite, so I'm going to put this to the other side of my A train, and I'm going to go ahead and clear this out, and we'll go moving on to the next one. As I continued with the Puff U Premium, the blueberry did start coming out a little bit more, but still very weak. My taste buds are really shot, so if the flavor's not intense enough, I'm not going to taste it. So I don't like those light flavors. I don't know if that's what they were going for, or they were just hoping it gets better when it seeps. You know, Mount Baker's like that. If you don't ask for extra shots, to me, at least if I don't, it tastes too weak, and I don't like it. I don't care. I can let it seep from now till doomsday. It's never going to just develop a more intense taste. Next, we're going to try a 503 here. It's a mixed berry, and they do have an ingredients listing, which is good. I don't see a PGVG percentage. I'm looking for, yeah, there is a warning here. It does say 0 nicotine. What I don't see is a born on kind of date thing. But I like that it's plastic sealed. I like it and I hate it. I like that it's sealed. I hate trying to get these seals off. So let's work on that. Shake her up. And we get a nice dropper. Nice dropper. Has a nice smell to it. Again, I'd like to reiterate that 0 nicotine, that's what I vape. So technically right now, there's nothing bad in these juices. There's nothing bad in here for me. I could literally drink this stuff. Since there's no nicotine in it, there's nothing bad that could harm you. So let's see what this 503 mixed berry tastes like. Okay, right up front, I taste berry. Hooray! I can taste the flavor that it's supposed to be. Good vapor production. Pretty good. Almost between A-Train and Thunderhead. Now I'm not as crazy about the flavor as the strawberry or the A-Train, but for someone who would like berry, it does taste very good. The flavor's there, the vapor production's there. Dropper, child-proof, they just about hit everything very well. I like the glass. I like that it's you know, not clear, so the light doesn't get in there and make it expire earlier than it should be, but it doesn't have a born-on date or a expiration date. So for my preferences, I'm going to put this between Thunderhead and A-Train. So let me go ahead and get this cleared out and we'll move on to the next one. Next is the Liquid. Came in this nice packaging. I'll tell you, as far as packaging goes in the bottles, Liquid has it pretty much nailed. I mean, you obviously can see what it is, you know, the flavor, the brand. There's a lot number on here, or batch number. It says lot number. There's an expiration date. There's the amount of nicotine, where they're from. There's the warning label. There's ingredients. The only thing I'm not seeing out of this whole thing is the percentage of PGVG. Now this is very small, so I could be missing something, but with that, absolutely impressive packaging. Very, very good job. So this is the Apple Breeze. I've had this before. Not sure if I had gotten it from Zamplebox or not, but I'm going to be trying the one that I've had around a little bit, which I guess is a little bit cheating because it had time to steep. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put one in here. Alright. Childproof, dropper built in. You know, Liquid definitely does a great job packaging. We're okay, flavor hits you because you have that menthol. If I remembered that this was menthol, I probably would have done it at the end, because it's hard to get your atomizer clear of a flavor or menthol. And the apple, it comes through very loud and clear. So if you like menthol, you like apple, you're going to love this. Vapor production, really good. Very, very good. I'll tell you, this is tied with number 1. I'm gonna have a hard time trying to figure out which one I like better: the Thunderhead Vapor Strawberry or the Apple Breeze, which is the apple and menthol. But they're tied for first right now. if you like menthol, this could easily be your all-day vape. I'll tell you, if I don't determine if I like one better than the other, I'm gonna let the packaging decide, and then you all gonna know that Liquid is gonna end up #1 because they did a much better job with their packaging and markings on the bottle. So I'm gonna work on clearing this, and then we'll get on to the last one by LOOK. Man, I'll tell you, I'm sitting here vaping this, and I'm like, man, my arm's getting tired. I wonder how much this thing really weighs. So I went ahead and weighed it, you know, with this setup right here, with the battery in it, and it was like 14 ounces. That's pretty close to a pound. That's just insane. Anyway, finishing things up here, LOOK Pina Colada does have a batch number on it, which I like. It you know, it does have ingredients listing, has the warning, has everything but the date, I want to say. So pretty good with the packaging, nice bottle, no dripper, which that's one of the things I almost hate the most, but they like Zamplebox. So, go ahead and mix this up good. And I'm going to have to get the pipette. Definitely smells like pina colada. Alright. Okay, that was about 3 drops. Grab a little bit more. Alright. And by the way, no childproof caps, so you know what? You know, at some point in time, I'm gonna like totally disqualify any liquid if it's not childproof, because that would hurt us as a vaping industry. You know, like if this had nicotine in it, a kid could just walk up and drink it, and next thing you know, it's on the news, and then they're gonna be trying to get the FDA to pass even more stringent, crazy freaking laws or rules or mandates, and we don't need that. So, you know, if you're from LOOK and you're watching my video, you need to fix this. I don't even care. I don't care if your other bottles have it. If you're going to have it in a sample box even, it got to be childproof. Absolutely. That also, by the way, goes for A-Train. It really is unsat in this day and age. Unfortunately, we live in a world where even if we don't have kids, everything has to be child-proof, or, you know, you're going to get sued. Crap like that. You know, it's sad, but parents should be watching their kids. We shouldn't have to rely on all this stuff. But, in this day and age, good vapor production. Not quite as good as the Liquid or the Vaporhead. Probably on par with 503. The flavor's not really coming out, hitting you as hard. You know, the intensity of the flavor is somewhere, you know, between 503 and A-Train. So I think what's going to happen is the losers are LOOK, A-Train, Puff You, and I'm going to go ahead and put the winners in order, and we'll take a close look at my pick. And the winners are, voila, there we go. Third place is the 503 Mixed Berry. Number 2 is Thunderhead Strawberry Frosting, and number 1 Liquid Apple Breeze. Now, for me personally, the one that tastes the best, you know, as far as flavors, you know, which again is subjective, I like the strawberry better than the apple menthol, but I know for, you know, taste is subjective. but the intensity of the flavor is really, really good. Just a hair over Thunderhead, not by much. These two are so close, but Liquid really pulls it off with the gorgeous packaging that they have. Now, one thing real quick, what I've been using to vape in my review of my Zamplebox here this month. This guy, I just took a look online and I see that Fastech is selling this, an authentic VTR for 71 bucks. So there you go. Really very, very nice variable wattage, variable voltage device with the LCD screen, easy to adjust. Nice button, just the right pressure. It's not too hard. It's in the right place. The only downside to it is this whole setup here, where you know, if you want to use something other than the itaste, I'm sorry, not the itaste. I forgot what they call the tanks that come with these things, unfortunately, and I'm not going to look it up because this is more of a Zamplebox review anyway. But tanks that come with this, you know, they fit beautifully in there. They're made for each other. But if you want to go off and use a different tank and everything, if it doesn't fit under that ring, you got to use this big adapter right there. So then it gets really awkward, bigger, heavier, yada yada yada. And if you use something too small, then it's going to move around within that ring. Even the one made for it sort of moves around a little bit, but it's not bad at all. It's getting really nitpicky there, but I love this green. I wish they didn't have all this. I wish plain green. Hell, it would have been really cool if it was just straight green, or like an old-fashioned camouflage pattern. Who knows? Maybe I'll Duracoat this the color I like. Well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, especially you, especially Zamplebox, and I hope you have an awesome Memorial Day weekend. Take care.